Welcome to our virtual yoga class, our first one for 2021. Thank you for joining me. So my name is Vanessa. I'm here to guide you for the next 45 minutes. So we'll go ahead and begin class by laying on our backs. Start to make that transition there. And then notice that we might have the misinterpretation about yoga, about the purpose of it being to calm ourselves. It's just part of the effects. But we're learning to arrive to our body. We're learning to be informed by our bodies. So as you're transitioning, laying down, invite an intentional breath. You can inhale here, exhale, sigh out. Letting the experience of your body inform you, inhaling and exhaling, noticing that's a skill that we're cultivating. We're cultivating that sense of spaciousness in our bodies. At any point throughout the class, you can inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. Ribcage and belly expand. Notice that release as you exhale. Soften neck, shoulders, down to your heels and your toes. As we explore each of the poses, as we work on our strength, flexibility, and balance, please use your breath as a focusing tool. Go back to your breath and then notice how your breath can assist you within the poses, whether it's deepening flexibility or some strength and endurance. Go back to your breath. Now let's invite a full body stretch, lifting our arms up overhead. Interlacing our fingers, lengthening our spine. You can bring your belly up towards the ceiling. Separate your shoulder blades. You can point your toes here. Lengthen throughout the elbows. And then release that full body stretch. We're going to bend that left knee, lengthen our left leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers right behind your thigh. And I recommend flexing your right foot towards the front. Press your heel up towards the ceiling. Notice that stretch around the calf muscle. Breathe. And then bend that left knee. Take your hands around that left knee, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, chin towards chest, hold, and then drop your head back. Once again, lengthen your leg. This time let's focus on the hamstrings. Bring your thigh closer towards your belly, your chest. You can lengthen your left leg, but still allow a nice bend to your knee. Invite that type of breath that begins at the belly. And then after a breath here, bend that left knee, grab your knee with your hands, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, chin towards chest. And then drop your head back.
Release your left leg, lengthen it, your heel fall onto the floor. Bend your right knee, lengthen your leg. Let's focus on the calf by lifting your heel up towards the ceiling. Deep belly breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And then start to bend that right knee. Grab your knee with your hands around your spine, forehead towards your knee, chin towards chest. And I'll drop your head back, lengthen your leg. Focus on your hamstring, bring your thigh closer towards your belly, your chest, simultaneously lengthen your leg. You can have a bend to that knee. Find a deep belly breath, breathe into your hamstring. Notice your flexibility here. Notice where your edge, where your boundary is, how you can breathe into that boundary and fold just a little bit more. One more intentional breath here. Inhale. And exhale, release, bend your knee, grab your knee with your hands, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, chin towards chest, fold. You're using the core workout, opening throughout the back of the neck, upper back, mid back, and release. Now bend both knees, both feet float off the floor, rock a little bit towards the left and towards the right. Bring your knees closer towards your belly. And after rocking a few times, release, both feet on the floor. Now rest your left ankle right on top of your right thigh. Weave your left hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers right behind that right thigh. Breathe into that left hip. You can bring your right thigh closer towards you for a deeper stretch. Inhale. And now release. Opposite side, right ankle, rest on top of your left thigh. Leave your right hand between your legs, interlace your fingers right behind that left thigh. Breathe into your right hip. You can bring your left thigh closer towards your belly, your chest. Intensify the stretch there. Breathe into your boundary. Inhale. And then exhale, release, bend both knees. Round your spine, forehead towards your knee, or grabbing your knees with your hands. And then release. Go ahead and lengthen both legs out in front. Flex your feet. Have already opened up around hips and hamstrings. It's going to help you fold. You can have a nice little bend to your knees. You can drop your hands anywhere from thighs, shins to toes. Just keep a nice and relaxed, long spine, relaxed neck, relaxed shoulders. Good practice here, breathing into your boundaries. Seeing where can you fold a little bit more, and it can always be very subtle. Three more breaths. And after those 3 breaths, release, shift into your tabletop. Hands are right beneath your shoulders, knees, hips with distance apart. Fingertips spread wide. You're going to inhale, lift your tailbone, lift and open up your chest. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin towards your chest, round your spine here. Inhale, lift your tailbone. Exhale, round your spine, chin towards chest. Few times here, making sure you're lengthening your spine, opening your chest, lifting your tailbone in that cow pose, and then tucking that tailbone in your cat pose. And then after another round here, or 2, we'll start to transition out of our cat and cow into a neutral position. Lift your left leg, bend your knees, stack your hips, hold. Bend your knee for a gentle stretch around the quad. And release, opposite side. Lift your right leg, bend your knee, stack your hips, bending that knee for a gentle stretch around the quad muscle. Release your knee, lift up, downward facing dog. You're in the upside down V. Exhale. Soften neck, head. Breathe into the backs of your legs. Now take your gaze right between your hands. So walk or jump up to that forward fold. We're going to inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's roll up slowly to standing. Head comes up last. Purposely move slowly. This is a practice of letting go, of noticing how our body is when we slow down. Arms dangle, head slowly and gently lifts. We'll invite an active mountain pose. Fingertips spread wide, palms are open. You're grounded through your heels. You can decide if you prefer to keep your eyes open or if you prefer to keep your eyes closed. Let's take a generous breath. Inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. Glutes and core are active. If I try to move you, it'd be difficult to do so. You're grounded through your heels, your arms radiate outwards. Inhale, exhale, another breath, inhale. Releasing all that tension from 2020, exhale, sigh it out. Cultivate that inner sense of spaciousness. Exhale, release physically, mentally, emotionally. We'll release our mountain pose. Let's begin our new year with 5 sun salutations. I'll go ahead and cue.
You can move at your own pace at any point. For your sun salutation, make sure that you're noticing your feet grounded onto the floor. On an inhale, notice that expansion throughout the arms, a lengthening of the spine as you lift. You can take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Now, as I dive down, I lead through my chest, I drop my arms, I soften my neck.
Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. I ground my palms directly beneath my shoulders. I lengthen my legs. Ideally, you're exhaling as you're releasing down towards the floor. Press your palms onto the mat. Tops of the feet are on the floor. Upward facing dog. I'm going to engage your glutes here for extra support. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Take a generous breath here. Inhale, exhale. Take your gaze between your hands. Walk or jump up. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's sweep our arms up overhead. Hands in front of your heart center. We invite an intentional breath, inhaling and exhaling. Release our hands, greet the energy of the day, bring it down to the floor. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Step back into your plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. And then we meet at our downward facing dog. Take your gaze between your hands. Walk or jump up to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Sweep your arms up overhead. Preparing for our third sun salutation. Take that energy down to our heart centers, eyes opened or closed, intentional breath. Arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up, back is flat. Exhale, release, step back, plank pose. Release towards the floor. Inhale, up, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, take your gaze between your hands, walk or jump up. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, sweep your arms up. Take your hands in front of your heart center. We're gonna inhale here. Exhale, release, arms lift, fourth sun salutation. Exhale, fold, making sure you're softening neck and head here. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep belly breath. Take your gaze right between your hands. Walk or jump up to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Sweep your arms up overhead, expanding throughout the spine. Left hand pressing against right hand pressing against the left hand. An exercise of presence, of arriving to this moment. We breathe into our bodies. We breathe into the spaciousness we're cultivating. It's a sense of beingness where our relationship with time changes. Release your hands. Fifth sun salutation, arms lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a moment here to breathe into your down dog. And then release your knees down towards the floor. We're going to shift into a child's pose. We'll be here for quite a number of breaths. Allow yourself to soften, to relax, to deepen into your breath, sink into your hips. Inhale. Exhale. Remain here, a couple of cycles of breath. Noticing that in our yoga practice, we're balancing movement and moments of pause. Noticing in the holistic practice, we're acquainting ourselves with the benefits of both. Those moments of stillness, of pause. Three generous breaths. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Always optional to exhale side out. And after you've taken your breath cycles, release your child's pose. We'll come up into a tabletop. Press that left palm onto the mat. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. And release. Opposite side. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Release. Lift up. Downward facing dog. Take your gaze between your hands. Walk or jump up to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Sweep your arms up overhead. Meet your hands in front of your heart center. Inhaling and exhaling for the day you've had so far. Inhaling and exhaling for this moment. And inhaling and exhaling for the rest of your day. You can release your hands. We're going to go ahead and lengthen our stance. Now shift your left toes towards the left, right toes towards the right. Bend your knees, tuck in your tailbone. Hands in front of your heart center, palms pressing, or lift your arms up, palms facing each other. Sit a little deeper. Give a 90-degree bend to your knees. Distribute weight on your heels. This is a pose of strength, stability, and focus. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Point your toes forward. Hinge at the hips. Hands to your hips. Fold halfway. And then all the way down, softening your neck, your head. Inhale. Exhale. Wide-legged forward fold. Your hands can reach the floor. You have the option of taking your fingers to wrap around your big toe as well. You can cup your elbows with your hands. Just be mindful of softening the neck, softening the torso, hinging at the hips, breathing into the backs of your legs. Feel free to hear your inhale and your exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, plant your hands onto the mat, shift into a regular forward fold, feet hips width distance apart. We're gonna go ahead and inhale halfway up. Exhale, release, step back, downward facing dog, hold your down dog. We're maintaining an inversion here. Deep belly breath. And then release your knees onto the mat. We're going to go ahead and transition to sit in a cross-legged position.
hands on our knees. We purposely lengthen our spine, drop our shoulders down. So throughout the class, we're always coming into deeper integrity with our body. We're activating, we're lengthening our spine, dropping our shoulders down. Here you have the option of keeping your eyes open or closing your eyes. Rib cage expands, deep belly breath. Take an exhale, sigh it out. Noticing the connection of physical, mental, emotional body through our breath. After a few cycles of breath, you can release, open your eyes. Start to drop your chin towards your chest. Roll your head from one shoulder to the next. And then throughout the full circle. Get that full opening in front of the neck, sides of the neck, back of the neck, extending to your upper back, shoulders. A few more rounds here. If you prefer to work on meditation, go ahead and come back to a neutral position. Deep belly breath, rib cage belly expands. We'll start to bring our head back to a neutral position. Hands rest softly on our knees. Lift our shoulders up towards our ears. A couple of times, shoulders up towards your ears, rolling them back. And after you've done a few rounds, inhale, let's lift our arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, palms up towards the ceiling. Lengthen your elbows around your spine, chin towards chest. Palms towards the front. Separate those shoulder blades. And release. Let's lengthen our legs, palms up towards the ceiling. Core workout as we release down towards the floor. Make sure you tuck your chin towards your chest. Protect your neck. Your feet can float off the floor. Any shaking is fine. Using glute strength, quad strength, core strength. Stay lifted. Don't forget your breath. And then drop your head back. Generous inhale and exhale. Start to bend your knees, drop your knees towards the right, bring your arms out to a T, drop your head towards the left.
Soften neck, shoulders down the spine to hips. And knees come back to center. Drop your knees towards the left. Drop your head towards the right. Soften neck, shoulders down the spine to hips. Imagine your knees fall further towards the floor. Be very purposeful in softening the body here. And then bring knees back to center. Stretch your legs out. We'll start to transition into our final resting pose of the class, our Shavasana. So lengthen your legs, palms facing towards the ceiling, backs of the hands on the floor, framing your hips. Rest your head on the mat. Let's take 3 long intentional breaths here. Belly expanding as full as you can. Exhaling, releasing. Remind yourself you can go back to this full breath at any time throughout your day. Inhale. Exhale. You can let your breath go back to its regular rhythm, no control of the breath. You also have the option of practicing deep intentional breaths. Both methods have their benefits. Notice that this last resting pose is a powerful pose that teaches us the art of stillness, of slowing down, of letting go. It teaches us the wisdom of doing nothing. Notice by welcoming your breath, you're welcoming your experience. This is a practice of self-care and a practice of self-compassion. Do soften your forehead, jaw, neck, shoulders, down the length of your arms, palms to fingertips. Soften the upper back, mid back, lower back, down to your hips, behind your knees, to your ankles and toes.
We'll start to shift our attention back to our breath, inviting a generous inhale and exhale, restoring some movement to our fingertips and toes. You have the option of inviting a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead. You can also turn your body to the side. Once again, remember you can invite a generous and a leisurely breath. Invite another breath here or two. And after that, start to shift into your seated position, moving slowly. Still aware of your body, noticing the presence and spaciousness you've cultivated throughout the class. Meet yourself, meet your breath without judgment. We'll ground our practice in appreciation. We'll take our hands in front of our heart center in gratitude, noticing that as we welcome our breath, we welcome our experience. So we'll take an intentional breath here. Let's inhale here and exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. May we walk with each other in gratitude.